Hello everyone, welcome to First Web Designer. I am James Richman, again, as always. We have an interesting topic today, a topic that we have not actually covered yet, not on our courses, books, articles, tutorials, videos. So this is a special episode, and I have a special guest for that reason. And the name of the episode, if you can name it, would be how to create a predictable revenue for you as a web professional. And my guest also has a theory why you, being a web designer, are in a really fortunate and lucky position. So my today's guest, Paul. Hi.
Hey James, good to be here.
So yeah, thanks a lot for coming here. We had a little pre-chat before the episode was starting to record, and of course I really was hooked by you describing this whole picture of web designer being the lucky person who's just created something wonderful for a client and could take him much deeper, much further. Maybe you can share this theory with our guests today as well.
Absolutely. Well, it's I don't know how much of a theory it is. It's really it's just a cool position that you're in as a web designer. As a web designer, you've just taken this hub of where everyone is now going to see a company, and you've created it for them. You've helped to bring their idea into fruition. You've built their website where everyone gets to see. Now, what's interesting about that, though, is that once you build their website, a lot of the times you get stuck in these one-off deals as a web designer where it might be a $5,000 or a $1,000 or a $100,000 job, whatever you charge, and then it's sort of done unless you get a retainer with them to stay on with them and update that website. So that cash flow is kind of gone, and I know what a lot of web designers and freelancers do is they sort of scramble and they say, now where's my next deal? And they have to run for that, and they're always chasing, and it's sort of this feast or famine cycle that they're stuck in. So what's great about that, though, is that position that you're in when you've just created the hub of a business and where everyone is going to see them moving forward is now you can go back to them and say, listen, everyone, or even before you sell it to them, everyone is going to be looking right here. There's also opportunity for us to find more people out there who are searching for what you have to offer and drive them to your website and get them to see your website, see what you have to offer, refine those offers on your website, and get you more leads, more sales, and more customers. So it's great because you're in the best position ever. You've already designed their website. Now you can actually basically upsell them into a predictable revenue package so that way you, as the web designer, now have them on as a predictable revenue client for your business month to month, creating predictable sales for you, predictable revenue, and they basically become a great client for you because it's not just going to be a $10,000 project. It's not just going to be a $100,000 project. It's going to be, $1,000, $2,000 a month. And that's a big change for a lot of the designers and a lot of the freelancers out there.
No, exactly. You have hit the right pain point of our today's listener, because that's one of the things, if they manage ever to create some sort of recurring revenue, then it's through, looking after the server, the hosting, the security side updates, and like you said, some maybe content updates. But of course, what our today's listener may be curious about is why are you talking about all these things? What's your expertise, authority? And I can already jump into this a little bit. That Paul has his own company called MarketSlide, which helps someone like our today's listeners. So maybe you can talk a little bit more about how you not just encourage people to, create predictable revenue, you also actually help them to do it.
Absolutely. So MarketSlide is an agency which I'm a co-founder of, helped to create. And essentially, I was in the market as a freelancer, as a web designer, and I was doing some small jobs for a while. And I was studying a few people and trying to find a way to create predictable revenue for myself. I wanted to break out of the 9-to-5. I wanted to have enough revenue to go and travel the world and do all the great things that I see all these people on the internet doing every day. And I said, how do I do that? How is that even possible? And well, it is possible for web professionals. It is possible for web designers. And I found that way through selling predictable revenue services like AdWords, SEO, and Facebook. and advertising. And essentially, that's because when a business comes to you and they want you to create their website, they're not just asking for a website, they're saying what their real goal is to get customers from their website. They want to have a presence online that customers come to you, basically their business from. So I said, okay, well, that's interesting. How can I get them more customers from their website? We'll have to drive traffic, and I have to see what that traffic does on the website and get it to turn into leads and sales for their business. I can do that, but how do I do that? I need a good team. I need an AdWords guy. I need an SEO guy. I need a Facebook advertising person. So I needed those people, and I went out and I found them and I put them together, and I started selling them myself, and I realized a huge change in my own life. I was able to leave my 9 to 5. I had predictable revenue. I created an agency, and I was like, this is unbelievable. At this time, I was only 22 years old. And I was like, this is amazing. And after doing that, I was like, but there's so many other people who are still in that spot where they're still just doing freelance web design, and they're not doing the predictable revenue side. They don't have a team behind them, and they are maybe scared, or they just don't understand AdWords, SEO, or Facebook properly, and they don't know how to leverage those or sell those the right way, so that way they can create predictable revenue for their own business. So that sort of made the idea for me and my partner to get together, who Mark Ford is my partner, and we put together MarketSlide, which is MarketSlide Academy, which is a training course which teaches you how to sell, manage, and essentially charge for retainers in the simplest way possible with MarketSlide's white label team as your partner. So you get a team of experts in AdWords, SEO, and Facebook advertising, and one singular account manager to manage all of your accounts and help you with each of those advertising techniques for all of your clients. So we put that together and have been helping over 50 web professionals since.
Wow, no, this sounds amazing, but I believe a lot of designers, and obviously today's listener, could think it's not safe, my client will be handed over to someone else, and perhaps a lot of them, including today's listener, might have never heard of such thing as white label agency. At what point do you come into web designers' workflow? At what point you take away their client, or maybe you don't even take it away at all? Maybe there's a balance. How do you make them feel secure before we talk about the academy itself?
Absolutely. So white label is a phrase, and I know not everyone is familiar with that, but white label is essentially where we are your back-end team. And at no point do we ever really even interface with the client. So essentially, you're our partner. You're the lead on this particular job. You've won the client. They're your web design project. And essentially, whenever we interface with you, you just refer to us as, this is my AdWords team. My AdWords team is going to knock out these different things for you. Now, what are those things that we're going to knock out for you? You'll learn those inside of MarketSlide Academy. So that's essentially how secure it is. And we only do white label projects. So we don't work directly with any clients for AdWords, SEO, or Facebook at MarketSlide. So if your client came to us after talking to you and wanted to work with MarketSlide's team, we would say no. And the point in that is because we don't do web design. We need you as our partner to do web design, so that way we have somewhere to send the traffic, which is why the MarketSlide relationship with its partners is so powerful.
Okay, and so basically the whole branding, me as a web designer, whatever I have established, my reputation gets stamped on your services. That's why it's called white label, right?
Correct. So everything that we do has your branding on it. So every report that your client is going to see is going to be from your company or you as an independent consultant.
And okay, so maybe you can talk now a little bit about the academy before we share the links and how they can apply and look into it at the end of the show. What does this academy do? What do you need to learn? What's there to sell services? Just say I do Google AdWords, I do Facebook, but perhaps there is a little bit more into that.
Well, there's a lot more into that because you can get yourself in a bad situation. As you know, of course, when you're selling websites, if you sell a website that's going to cost you 50 hours of time for $1,000, you just sold that website for dirt cheap in terms of hours of input, and it just isn't going to make sense for you financially to even do this project. The same thing goes into AdWords, SEO, and Facebook. You need to know what's going to be involved before you engage into something. So what MarketSlide Academy really does is it helps you to simplify what is involved for AdWords, SEO, and Facebook. And it helps you to simplify it in 3 different areas of your business. which are sales and marketing, finance, and operations. So how to sell it, how to set client expectations, operations, how to manage the client, how to get the work done with your white label partner, which is our team, and then, of course, how to charge and simplify charging for retainers on a monthly basis. So that way you're not chasing clients every single month for more payments and not chasing clients and doing reports throughout every single different week and trying to keep track of that. We have systems that we've created to simplify all of that for you and your business. So that way you can stay doing what you love, which is coding and building websites and talking to your clients. And you need that. If you're going to be a good web designer or you're going to be a good AdWords SEO, Facebook consultant, you need to still have that relationship with your clients. And that's why you need to use leverage. You need to have someone who's going to teach you the benefits of AdWords SEO and Facebook and how they're done when they're done properly. So that way you can sell it to the client properly with the right profit margin on top of it for you and enough for everyone involved to be happy and also get your client the return on investment that they truly desire.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds like one stone kills two birds. Both parties benefit, but still, it's not always completely this beautiful made fantasy world. There are some restrictions. There are some things you can't do, some things you can do. Maybe certain of our web designers are located in certain things that you cannot take on. But again, maybe you're not gonna just shoot them away, but you're gonna, refer them to one of your partners. Maybe they are involved in a particular niche that you refuse to work with. What are the things that our today's listener should keep in mind before he reaches out to you?
Sure. So one of the things for MarketSlide, if you're going to look at MarketSlide as your white label partner, which more, I don't want to get too much into, hey, this is MarketSlide, this is everything that we do. But when you think about it from a web professional standpoint, you should be offering these services because your clients truly do want them. So if we just focus on that and say, your partners, your clients really do want more traffic and they want more sales coming in from their website, then you should be helping them with that if you can. And if you can put them in the right direction and give them the best, foot forward to make so that way they can get more clients from the website because you just built it for them, you absolutely should. But in terms of MarketSlide as a partner, currently we only work in English-speaking countries. So that's the biggest thing. And we only do SEO inside of the United States.
Okay, so and everything else, Facebook ads and other things that you do, there is no more restriction apart from English-speaking countries.
That's correct. Yeah, everything just needs to be English-speaking, and then we can take care of it for you. Yeah.
Okay, and in case someone is having clients out of US, do you have some industry peers, partners that you could put these clients together with instead of just shooing them away?
We do, yeah. So we have some partners established for SEO in Australia and also within the UK. So if you are looking to do SEO outside of the US, we will have partners that we can refer you to. We also have a group. If you are a conversion rate optimization, web professional, or you're a content writing web professional, and you really are just an amazing writer and you have clients for copywriting, you can still you can get into our community and you can meet other web professionals who do web design. That's who we primarily work with is web designers and conversion rate optimization professionals. So you can meet those guys, you can network with them, and you can find them and sign white label agreements with them as well. Okay.
One thing I would love to hear, I hope it's not too much to be asked, and I hope today's listener would love to hear some success stories, some case studies. Of course, out of confidentiality, you don't have to mention exact names, but the case studies and the success stories, what has happened when someone joined you and how you are working together.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we've got tons of success stories. We work with companies of all different shapes and sizes, from independent consultants who are just starting out getting their first client, and then 2 months later they're bringing in around $8,000 per month, and their life has changed, and all of their bills are covered for their expenses, and they just never thought that was possible. I've had a few of those happen, and we actually share one that's going to be live on our website. We're redoing our website right now, so that case study will be live on there. And that was actually Nate Johnson, who was a really prolific and avid reader and avid studier of our content. And he was always very active, and he went out there and he closed just 2 deals to start bringing in that much money and really change his life. And He's even got more in his pipeline, and then we've got a couple others right now that have done that, who I won't name because they haven't given me permission. But then we work with all the way up to multi-million-dollar companies who are really just looking for a partner who isn't the run-of-the-mill SEO agency. That hey, we'll white label SEO for you for $200 a month, and you can charge a ton of money for it. And when people look at that, they just don't feel comfortable. There's no real human interaction there. There's no real risk involved on the person getting paid $200. So what we've done is, we have really, really good customer service, and we create an account manager for that type of company. And that account manager is very involved. Every single week, we do office hour sessions, and we'll speak with anyone who wants to hop on and ask questions about AdWords SEO or Facebook, from our community and from us here at MarketSlide. So yeah, there's lots of success stories. People who have gone and just take 2 months, they've made $25,000, and all the way to a couple $100,000 if you're a big agency.
And how much does it cost Academy?
The Academy is actually, it's $250 to get started with us. That's an initiation call. And then it's $59 per month to be a member of MarketSlide, a white label partner, and you get access to the Academy as long as you're with us.
Okay. Maybe now, you can share a little bit more of how they can get in touch with you if they, liked what they heard, if they're interested, what are the things they should keep in mind and where they should head to.
Oh, absolutely. So if you are interested in becoming a MarketSlide partner, you can just run to our website, and there is an Apply Now button right up in the top of the navigation. There's a Get Started Now button on the homepage. Click on those buttons and just fill out the application. You're going to get an application form in your email. Fill that out, and then one of our MarketSlide staff will reach out and let you know if it's a good fit for us.
Okay, sounds good, sounds straightforward. On a finishing note, I'd like you to perhaps share a little, whether it's a golden nugget, advice, suggestion to a web design professional. Of course, there's a lot of value bombs that you dropped throughout this podcast, but maybe there is something, throughout working with other web designers you could recommend to our today's listener, maybe regards how to position yourself better, how to value your services better. I'm sure you got something on your mind that you could share with our today's listener.
Absolutely, yeah. There's so many things that I see web professionals do all the time, and especially web designers, and they make a lot of different mistakes in business. And one of the biggest value adds I can say is study, and that's just one of the biggest things. Listen to podcasts, maybe find mentors who are at the level that you're at, and go and learn from them. That has been one of the most amazing things that I've started to do ever since I did leave my 9-to-5, and it's helped me to scale my business over and over and over again, just by finding people who are experts in the industry at what they do. Find them, talk to them, spark up a conversation, and learn from them. Systemize what they're doing and implement it for yourself. That's business, and it really does help. And if you're a web designer and you're freelancing and you don't think of it as a business, you really should. And you should start to have that mindset going in that you want to win, you want to get the right clients, the good clients, because as we know, they're not all good. But in order to do that, you should learn from people and study people who really are seeing the success and where you want to be.
No, I couldn't agree more, my friend. That's exactly what has happened to our business as well. And myself, when I reached out to someone who's smarter than me, got out of the comfort zone, things change. So my last question is basically, if someone wants to get in touch with you, because obviously you come across as someone who's learned a few things, and our today's listener perhaps, I believe, is looking up to you and would love to ask for advice, maybe even more personal advice, is there a way for our today's listener to get in touch with you personally, I don't know, via email, Facebook or Twitter, and ask more sort of mentorship questions? Or will you be straight away pushing them and upselling them to MarketSlide? Or is there a human side to you as well?
There's an absolute human side to me. So actually, you can run on over to Facebook and type in Paul Xavier Ryan into the search box, and I'll pop up. It'll say Paul X Ryan there. There's a picture of me probably wearing something similar to this. I'm always in the this type of garb, and so you can find me. I'm always there. You can shoot me a message. I'm always happy to talk, share ideas, and we're doing webinars. We're doing things like that. We're doing a podcast as well. We were lucky enough to have you on it and share your story. So yeah, you can go on over there to Facebook, and I'd love to chat. So shoot me a ping.
Perfect. Thank you. It's great to know that there is a human side to you, because there are, a lot of people who are just pushing, the upsell, the pushing towards selling something. Sometimes you just want to calm down, slow down and talk to people. Talking about, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I talk to everyone who ends up becoming a Market Slide partner. So I mean, we are exclusive. We don't work with anybody and everybody. And like I said, we've only got 50 partners. We're not going to grow by much more this year. Our goal isn't to grow by the number of partners; it's to grow by quality. And we want to have that's a big word that we use there is partner, because we're not just a company that's looking for a 1,000 web designers to outsource SEO to us, because it wouldn't be a good relationship, and I know that your clients or their clients wouldn't get good results. We want to have partners who are serious and want the best thing for their clients, and they want this to be a big part of their business, and they want to scale, and they want to create a life that has freedom and more profit in it for them as well as their clients. So we're we're a bit picky actually about who works with us and who is a Market Slide partner. And there's got to be a personal feel to the company, or our company. That's the way we want it to be.
All right, then I'm talking about personal feel. What I always try to achieve is find a way to get my guests back on the show. And one of the ways I usually try to achieve it is encourage someone like our today's listener to leave a comment below this episode with any sort of questions they may have, and out of these questions then we could form and shape our next episode, because those would be real pain points that people are having out of this episode. Would you be up for something like that?
Absolutely, yeah. Please comment below the video, guys. We're here to answer.
Fantastic. Have to say massive thank you, Paul Ryan, for being here today, and really hope that we will be able to make an episode number 2. Thank you.
Thank you, James.